Okay. Hey now, and how are you doing? Want to welcome you to the next episode of Peace, Love, and Bring a Bat. Man, I can't wait to talk to my friend Matt. This is going to be an amazing thing. Matt has challenged me in ways which we'll talk about, but Matt has really, you want to learn how to treat your voice properly. You really got to talk to Matt, and he will up level everything you do, the way you sound, the way you breathe, the way it comes out. Because, man, it helped me. And I know if it helped me, it can help anybody because I am really, I struggled with it. And, but Matt, how are you today?
David, thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm very thankful that you're in real life, that you're here,
Yeah,
and
me too, man.
very grateful that you got that heart taken care of, bro.
Yeah, we're working on it, but now I have the focus. We all know about this stuff when we're younger. They tell us, eating Big Macs isn't good for you. Everybody knew it. I knew it. I'm not going to say, oh, I didn't know it. How would I would have known? I didn't know that two of my arteries were 98% blocked. That's the only thing I didn't know. But so, but it's not about me. I want to hear about you, and that's what everybody's here for.
Mm.
Tell them what you do. Let's start off that way as an easy thing. You do a lot more than what you do. You're just such an impactful
All
human
right,
being.
we're gonna go with the quick hit first. I help your soul and spirit come out and say hello.
Mm. That's
That's why I'm
powerful.
here. That's why I'm on Earth. That's the short. That's the short end of what I do. And I say that with absolute truth. And David and I were talking before the podcast, and I keep saying I've worked with people for 21 years, helping people with their voice, but I don't think I ever even until 3 minutes ago before we started this podcast, I didn't realize that legitimately since I was 17 years old to this point, I've been working on my voice for 30 plus years. Um, I just watched the movie Michael last night, Michael
Mm.
Jackson.
Oh, did you?
And
Okay.
oh man,
How was that?
amazing.
Was
It,
it?
it was
Okay.
it was amazing. It was like it really put in perspective the creative genius that's inside every single one of us, but we have to allow it. We have to allow it to speak. And watching the little snippets of how Michael allowed that creative process to happen and his awareness of it, the discipline of it. Um, I mean, I teach it, and being able to watch a master do that and have those boundaries around himself and speak his truth in moments that he knew what mattered. I was like, man, this guy was literally one of the most aligned people on earth. And he, I don't think we really, well, of course we didn't. That happens with everybody, right? We didn't appreciate his genius when he was here. And I even coming out of the theater, walking down the steps, I was like, holy crap, Angela. Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury literally were alive at the same time, and Prince, and so many other geniuses. All right.
Well, that's why I
Uh,
want to challenge you. So yeah. I mean, if you think about the 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? Just those years. Not that all the other years are not good. The genius that came in, right? Bob Dylan. I mean, like when you sit down, I mean, even movies. So I was just watching recently the Steven Spielberg uh documentary. And
oh,
who
I
who
didn't even
did
know.
who did he sit down with? He was sitting down with George Lucas, Martin Scorsese. They hung out, not just
Yeah.
hung out because they're trying to build off each other. They're just hanging out as friends, and that's where I want to say you're a genius like that. Every
Mm,
time I talk to you, you know, you know, I get something. I mean, look, we were gonna just have like a little kind of catch up, you and I as friends, and it went like a half hour, and we could have gone another 4 hours, right? I mean, let's be honest. But every time that I get to talk to you, and I'm blessed when I get to talk to you, that there's something that comes out of it. I was taking notes just in our friendship, that I
mm.
could use in other ways. So, Matt, I just want to pour
Thank
into
you,
you.
David.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. I want you to be able to pour
Goosebumps.
in to show your genius. I really feel that way. How you see the voice and how you help people.
Okay. Well, man, okay. When I was little, I loved music. Like, I loved really great voices. And I loved spoken word too. Um, Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. I talked about this in my live the other day. I remember watching Return of the Jedi in 1984 at the theater in Emporia, Kansas. And I was gifted the the vinyl, the album, Return of the Jedi soundtrack, the whole thing. All right. And for some amazing reason, this is accurate. I need to find this vinyl. I need to buy it actually. But I listen to that sucker almost every day. Like think about it, like a kid listening to John Williams soundtrack every freaking day. But not only that, in the album was the dialogue of the actors from the movie embedded in the album. All right. So I would be able to listen to music and know that's where Luke said this. That's where Han Solo said this. That's where Jabba laughed right here. Like, for instance, Luke is on the little speed cruiser thing and they're tied up and they're about to go into the pit, right? And Jabba's in his little, floating,
Yeah,
cruise ship. And Luke's like, Jabba, this is your last chance.
I know that one.
Free us or die. And then Jabba, oh, 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 oh. But like that was my childhood. Like the Thriller album, dude, like
Mhm.
Michael Jackson Thriller album, when it came out, I listened to that sucker every freaking day. And there's a picture of me that my mom has. I need to have her send it to me of the Michael Jackson like album. Like I took pictures of that album and then I had pictures with me and the album. Like that's how crazy I was about the beat, about the music, the voice, the rhythm. But as I've gotten older, and when I was teaching public school, I realized, well, even before that, actually, at Friends University in Wichita, Kansas, where I got my bachelor's degree in music ed, um, I would audition for shows every freaking year. All right. Now, I was a jock boy in high school that did not know how to read music, that did not know how to sing, but I had a giant heart and I really wanted to sing like Garth Brooks and Boyz II Men and Bon Jovi and Michael Jackson. All right. But I wasn't very good. I couldn't sing very well. And so I got help from everybody I could, but I felt very deeply. All right. I remember going up the stairwell at Friends University, and two guys that were super music nerds were in front of me, I think behind me maybe. And they were like, Berto, are you going to audition for the solos? I was like, yeah, I'm going to audition for the solos. I'm going for it. Well, are you going to feel it? Are you going to feel it, Bertho? Are you going to feel it? Like they were making fun of me, dude, for feeling so much. I got the solos
Mm.
and I got majority of the solos. every single time. Do you know why?
Why?
Because because I feel so deeply.
And,
And that uh, that's always been who I am, always. In sports, you pissed me off, I'm going to use my feeling to destroy you. I was a state champion wrestler on a 4-time state champion team. We kicked each other's ass every freaking day at practice. You wrestled a state champion every day. It was brutal. That's how I grew up.
well, you learn that
And
toughness, but and that's why I put you in that category. Like I'm not just saying it because you're my friend or you're on the podcast. I mean, how many people? So I'm going to put myself into this. Is how many people voice coaches, right? You were still working together at that time, and you walked up to me and was like, "No, that's a pussy speech." The night before, I'm supposed to do it. We're
I forgot
partying.
about
I'm
this.
I'm supposed to, hang out, relax, and get some, whatever. And you're like, so walk me through it. And I start walking you through it. He goes, and you pulled me aside, a room of like 200 people,
I remember
and
this.
you were like, no. And I'm like, what? Like I'm all proud and pat on my and he's like, no. How do you do that? Because that's a confidence not only in you but your client, your person.
Uh,
That's next level stuff. That's
well,
not
it's you gave me goosebumps, so I know I have to answer this. So when I was when I was in high school, I taught Sunday school preschool. All right. So imagine little preschool kids in my class and I'm teaching them about the Bible. And imagine little preschool kids and I'd see their gifts in these little kids. And I'd have them stand on the desks and sing Jesus Loves Me as loud as possible. And teachers would come in and say, Matt, you can't have them do that. They're so loud. Like you guys need to be quiet. So that kind of disruptor thing, that's been me my whole life. My whole life. I see and feel and have the vision to hear what David should be at full capacity wholeness, at full alignment. I know what it can be. I've always had that gift. That's why I'm a teacher. And every part of the word teacher, that's what I am. And if I don't say what I'm supposed to say, I'm not doing my job. Like it's
so I want to let you know is I don't think I've ever said to you how much that moment shifted. And I've told that story many times and I've talked about you many times, all good. Um, but but it really shifted me and made me. And even in that room where half the room was empty at that point, I still put down the performance that I want when I talk about standing on a chair and jumping off that chair. People are like,
man.
man, that was a punch in the face that you need. That's one way to open up. If you're gonna open up, you can definitely open up that way.
Well, and it everybody everybody has stories that they think are very normal that are the listeners extraordinary. Like every single person that I've worked with for 21 plus years, there's a gift that every single person has. But are they going to have the courage to go through whatever they have to go through to find the gift? And I am able to see the gift in everybody. The problem is there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of ego that gets in the way. And, you know, I know because I've done it so many times, I know it's not that comfortable to be around me sometimes.
Sure.
because I see right through you. You're not going to fake me. You're not going to phony me. All right. And that, I think that's part of the skill set that I have as a teacher is helping people with the blind spots that they have in their life, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, abundance mindset, creativity, how they show up in a room, authenticity, action. Do they take action? Relationship communication. How are they communicating with the people they care about and love? And then the most important one, the one that God wants us to do is love yourself. Like you have to love yourself. You have to protect your body. You have to give yourself truth over denial. You have to love from overflow and not emptiness. And when I take people through this work that has evolved and continues to evolve to where I'm going to unpack something here in the next month. And I was telling David about it before. When people see it and they hear it and they feel it, they're going to be like, God dang it, Matt. How in the world did you come up with that? Well, I didn't come up with it. I did not come up with it. God came up with it. I was just a receiver. And I did the work. I've done the work
Sure.
for
Yeah.
my whole life. And it's just like if you watch the movie Michael, it goes through his creative process, and there's a moment that I'm never going to forget for the rest of my life. I know it, where he's in his pool, and his brothers are all jacking around, and he's in his pool on his little floaty thing, chilling under the tree, and they're like, "Michael, come play with us. Michael, come play with us." And he's like, "No, guys, I'm receiving. I'm connecting right now. I'm gonna get what did he say? Um, it was a C word. But anyway, channeling.
The
I'm
channel.
channeling. I'm channeling with the creator. That's what he said. And I was like, whoa. And then to watch the process of the sticky notes, beat it, Billie Jean. And then there's a question mark at the top because intuitively he knew there's something on this album that is going to change the entire game. And he had Thriller at the bottom on the like third or fourth. And the moment in the movie, it's freaking awesome. He takes that Thriller and he puts it on the question mark. And he just smiles and he sits back. And I was like, that's it. That's the way we feel. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel about this new idea that I'm going to bring out in the next month. It's like when inspiration and that creative channeling information happens for you, you capture it and
100%.
you do it. You take action. Because I when that so you to the point. That's how I help people. That's how I coach. That's how I teach. Yes, I have all these modalities and tools like E A U I have all this stuff. Yeah. I can go over your script. I can go over your hook. I can go over your content, your lessons. I can go over the closer. I can go over all that stuff. I can tell you, yes, keep that, throw that away. That's part of the work, right? But the ultimate work is helping David become the most aligned person that David can be in every sense of that.
I think about that conversation just to let you know every time I get on stage or when I'm preparing, because I'm like, and not that I'm looking for approval, because I'm really not, because I do wild things.
Which part?
The part that challenged me, and the part that you when you said go do it, and you didn't tell me what to do. You did give me one suggestion. You were like, wouldn't it talk about your suicide attempt? And I was like, well, I didn't want to start with that. I wasn't going to do that because I just wasn't, right. I was going to talk about my friend Kevin. That's really where I was starting. And you were like, no, you know, you're taking away your power at the
Mm,
beginning. And I remember it. I mean, I could still picture it because
mm,
from that moment, anytime I've gone on stage, so I'll share another story. Well, I think you were in the room when I spoke at the Movement Maker, this
Yeah.
past Movement Maker,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I came out, and I was just gonna come out with the light and start talking about the light, and I was like, do I do the Hebrew, right? Many of the people in the room,
I remember we talked about
yeah,
this.
right, we a lot of people, you know, are in the room are Christian. They don't. It was one or two, and Josh Arinovich, who I'll give a shout out to. He was like, "You did it great." I was like, "Man, I knew there'd only be a few people who would know if I did it wrong." But the impact of hearing the lighting of the candle, the prayer for
Mm,
lighting of the candle, like, do I do it? Do I not do it? I'm like, what would Matt do? Not in a that I
no.
need to show up Matt, but I'm like, what do I need to do is to show up for myself in the way that I did when I jumped off the chair.
Yep.
And that's what you want to do is when I get on. I mean, again, in between all those was also me speaking the crowing of the rooster when I was in Chicago.
I
I
remember
had that
that too.
I
We
had that
worked on that.
right. I had that speech, but I was like, man, who else is gonna walk out with a rooster shirt? I'm like, I didn't when I got off the stage, people were like, oh man, I love your shirt. I love it. I didn't even think about that it wasn't going to work because I had already prepared for it and I knew the level of where I wanted to be.
Mm.
And I
Well, it's
did,
who you are.
but I did that because of the challenge. It all stems from that first challenge when you
Mm.
challenge me. Like I could have speak, right? We have a lot of you and I are in that circle. There's a lot of speakers and they're even good, but are they really putting themselves at that level? And that's what I want to do is I want to up level everybody speaking. I don't want you just to get on a stage and like, hey, I'm on stages. I want you to be on stage, but I want them to remember you and the speech, the
Well,
R's. I still get people calling me about my R's. I still get people going, "Oh man, when you jumped off that chair, that was sick."
why did they remember it?
Because I put my whole self in there. You put the energy, right?
Well, what was the vehicle for the energy?
My story. My story is the vehicle.
We're doing work right now, everybody. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I know. I'm like, oh, don't do this. No,
Deeper, Dave. What was the vehicle for the story?
the vehicle. Well, the vehicle is my voice. Is the performance of doing it. That's
So,
really
so
the, there's
because I
really.
remember all these moments
Mhm.
because we worked on them, but like the moment where I challenged you, what do you remember most about that moment?
It was sort of a gut punch, right? It was like, what do you
Okay. And
mean?
so what is a gut punch?
But it was something that I needed to then look at differently.
But look, stay
No, no, no,
with me.
I'm not, no, no. So, and because I needed to look at it differently, I then needed to realize, was I going all out? Because that was one of the words that you used. Are you
Okay.
going all
So
out?
so what did I talk about at the beginning of this podcast that I got made fun of for?
Well, for singing, right? For going all out, you no, you didn't go. You didn't go all out.
So look,
You,
this is awesome, everybody, because
shows Dave's not paying attention.
no, Dave does pay attention, but this is this is why I do the work I do. All right. Dave said it. He felt a gut punch. The audience reacted to the moment where Dave was vulnerable and jumped off the chair. What everybody remembers, David, and the reason why I do this work, this is such a beautiful moment. This is such a good moment for everybody. They remember what they felt, the feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
They remember the emotion. And when you did that talk and you jumped off the chair, we talked about what you were feeling in that moment.
Right.
And we talked about you being in that moment with us and you visualizing that moment while you're on stage in real life with us and feeling the emotions that you felt in that moment so that the audience could feel them with you.
Right.
Mission accomplished. It worked. And that's why people remember it. Your gut punch moment that you felt was because I literally was emotionally tough and I care about you and I love you. And I said it with absolute truth.
Correct.
That was the gut punch. I didn't, guys, I didn't just punch David in the stomach. Like, I made him feel what it would feel like if he's not true, if he's not authentic, if he is being what I said, a pussy
Yep.
about not telling us what actually happened. Because your life has been saved time and time again, David, to the
100%.
point now that you've realized another gut punch. I got to take care of my body. I got to take care of this heart that's so big, this heart that gives so much to so many people. And now he's telling you about it.
No, 100%. There's a different way of saying that. Yep. I wasn't sure what word you were looking for. um, but
Well, so in the nerd talk, emotions are energy.
yep.
It's a frequency of
Sure.
energy, everybody.
Sure.
Emotions are energy. Energy is frequency. Frequency carries information. Right from Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural. If you feel a deep emotion, hopefully wholeness, love, joy, bliss. If you feel one of those and then you write something, you talk, you speak, we're going to remember it. And better yet, we're not going to have to repeat it. I didn't repeat it over and over to David.
No.
He remembers it still to this day.
Yep. Yeah, and in fact, you didn't even know what I was writing. I only told you the beginning parts. I saw it after that's where you're genius. To see it and be able to react to it, not relax, um, while making others relax. Because I didn't feel worried about it. Because I had the confidence. If Matt thinks I could, right at that point, I was like, all right, just another speaker. But Matt saw something in me uh, that then shifted everything else. Like I said, going forward from that one speech, and really, I got up at 4 o'clock the next morning and practiced what
I
I
know.
was
I
going to
remember.
do.
I remember.
But
And it wasn't.
because of your ability, that expertise, that next level
Hmm,
knowing it's more than just the voice coaching. It's the speaking and the gravitas that you bring
hmm.
when you're with somebody.
Well, there are two speakers I remember that day. Just two. Who are they?
Hopefully, me.
Yes, you're one of them.
I think Spencer. I think Spencer.
Danny. Danny Z.
Oh, okay. Yep, yep.
100%. Why? Why Danny?
He brought you into the emotion. He brought you into the experience rather than
How vulnerable is he?
he was very vulnerable.
You
He
remember
talked
what he
about
talked
Mason.
about?
Yeah, among the things he spoke about was Mason, about his
Yep.
son,
Yep.
about losing his son.
Yep. And we all could relate with that.
Sure.
And he allowed himself to go there in that moment with us, just like you did.
Right.
A lot of people are very safe on the surface with what they're telling us. That doesn't help us grow. There's no impact in that,
Not
you
at all.
know. And the work that I'm honored to put into the world, there's a certain kind of individual that's ready to do it. That's tired of the BS. It's
Mhm.
tired of the the programs or whatever, and they need me to help them and guide them, shepherd them through the journey.
Hmm.
And that's what I do. And you know, the more people can lean into some of like this guy I talked to yesterday. He told me this was like 2 weeks ago. I did this mastermind talk, and I know like when I'm talking for like 4 hours and teaching, there's going to be a depth that I crack into that people have most people have not experienced before.
Right.
And that's what this guy said on the phone to me last night. He goes, dude, I don't know what you did, but something like changed in me. Like I'm facing things from my childhood that I thought were great, and they're not great. What did you do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just part of the journey, right? And so it's also, David, like these things that happen that are hard, traumatic, challenging, they're lessons to be learned from all those moments. The goal is to get to the gift as soon as possible, because one of the gifts is that you're still here.
100%.
And why are you still here? Why are we still here? If you're listening to this podcast, why are you still here? What's your mission? What's your purpose? Why are you on earth in this time and space? Out of any generation that you could be here, why now? And that should be like the goal every day, to step into that. Like, what, why waste time doing everything like everybody else? Like the game changers, the visionaries, most of them play by the rules of everybody else. And then one day they're like, you know what? No, that's not how I'm going to do it anymore.
Right.
There's a better way. And, we're talking about Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, Steve Jobs, um, Martin Luther King Jr.
Matt Berthot. Come on. No, and like I look, you can roll your eyes and everything like that, but it's not only the big figures, right? There's a lot of little people like here. Okay, so let's go Martin Luther King. Who is in his circle? Jesse Jackson, right?
Yeah,
Other
man.
people who did it. So I'm not saying it is who you associate with. It's how you play in the game, not just, you know, that's why. I mean, you look at all those people, Michael Jackson. I mean, also, yes, his family was talented and they did that. But look at some of those other people, right? I mean, even getting religiously, and I know you're a man of faith. Jesus didn't do it all himself. He had
Mm-mm.
disciples, right?
Yeah.
So it's not.
Well, and I mean, let's go there. He knew he had to have disciples. He knew he had to, because he couldn't do it on his own.
Right.
He knew that there was a good possibility that he won't be around very long, right? Since you bring it up too, part of the work that David is talking about that I've discovered is the discipline of the work on yourself as an individual. Just like David, I gave myself to everybody. And then there was nothing left at the end of the day for anybody, not my wife, not my kids, nobody. And that's a big reason why I got divorced, is because I just gave everything to everybody else. And I didn't leave anything else left for anybody that really mattered at the end of the day. And, I say that because it's the truth. Somebody's going to hear that and be like, damn, man, Matt, my dad died of the Widowmaker heart attack, David, in June of 2020. I saved my accompanist, Billy's, life in 2011 of the Widowmaker heart attack. I gave him CPR and saved his freaking life. So for David to get help with that now, he extended his life, the next 30 to 50 years.
Now it
just
becomes a
right.
choice for me, right? That's what I
Correct.
keep saying to people is now, we could all put have our eyes covered as much as we want, but now for me, it's a choice and
Well,
how we move forward.
and David, like, man, let's just drop it. I'm gonna drop it like it's hot right
Yep,
now. So every human on this earth has a choice to be their best self, period.
100%.
And you can ignore it and you can give yourself denial over truth for the rest of your life, like so many of my family did, or you can tell yourself the truth over denial. That is called loving yourself. Because I know there's stuff I still have to work on. There's stuff I have to get better at every single day.
100%. All of us.
And the actions that I take most of the time are to help me show up as the most aligned person I possibly can be. And it's not easy because we're human and something changes every day.
Yep.
And so it's about the awareness of where do I need to focus today? And what routines do I need to keep in order that are just maintenance for the rest of my life? People think they don't have time to do that.
They don't make the time.
Yeah, they don't make the time. They think that,
That's where, like for me, I didn't make the time. Again, people will start seeing. So in the past 2 weeks, when they told me to sit down, I could have sat down, watched TV. I recorded
mm,
14 episodes. Monday, I'm releasing 4 books. I didn't write all four during these 2 weeks.
mm,
It was books I had. So it's one
mm,
of the things that I want to make sure everybody knows. I
mm,
had all this on my laptop, and
mm.
including one series of books that I've been had on my laptop for 20 years that's going to
Holy
get out
moly,
very
man.
shortly. So don't hold back. You know, um, that's the thing is don't hold back because if not, it would have gone on my laptop. My kids would have cleaned the hard drive and it would have gone away and people would not have had the ability to hear what I needed to say or what I just spent time doing that I enjoyed doing. And Matt, I know your time is limited. I know we're try to wrap it up soon. And look, you can come back all the time. I love talking to you. I really do. Every time this the way your perspective helps me. That's why I kept on taking notes. Like, oh, I can use this, but like really, it's for me, it's a little bit of a master class as well. But I'd like you to walk into my magic garden right now. And
Okay,
if we can
let's
leave,
go.
all right, if we can leave one seed that you can leave us that might start growing right now or might need a little more nurturing, what would that seed be to help somebody move forward?
Okay. So we all have a soul and we have a body. And for the believers out there that believe in God, creator, spirit, whatever you want to call it, we have an opportunity to receive information from God, the creator, spirit, every single day of our lives and to get direction, to get guidance. The awareness that that is there, that that is possible, is what I think the seed is. And so, are you going to accept that direction and guidance, or are you going to reject it like the majority of people do their entire life?
Hmm. As simple as that is, but that is as deep as you go.
Well, everybody has an opportunity to receive, but a lot of people just look at the external world and think this is it.
Mm.
And nobody's going to remember what you say or sing. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And that feeling, that emotion, that spirit is more powerful than any word. And that is what is going to separate you and me and everybody that leans into showing that emotion, that energy. That is what it's going to separate you from the AI robotic world in the future. And if you don't show emotion, you might as well just be a robot. And you're going to be forgotten quick.
Hmm. I agree. You got to show up. And so, how can people find you, man? There's only so much I could do. Believe
Well,
me, I'll scream on the top of mountains to let them know about you.
David has my cell phone. And if you're a person that is serious about this work, that wants to work, he will put you in a group text with me. So that's one way. The other way is you can email me at voicebymatt@gmail.com. Voicebymatt@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram, Voice by Matt. I have a podcast, Voice by Matt. Everything's Voice by Matt. Um, Website, voicebymatt.com. You know, I think, you're going to see some different ways I think that people can start this work with me. That's going to be maybe more affordable for people to start coming pretty soon that I've been hesitating on for years, because I really like the one-on-one work. I love it. I
Yeah.
love working with people one-on-one. That's where the most transformation happens. But I also know, there's definitely an investment to do that. And, you know, if you want to really grow and you don't want fake bullcrap and you actually want to let your soul and spirit come out and say hello, then I can help you. But if you want to be fake and phony and play gimmick things, I'm not for you. I'm just not. And I know that now, and I can say that very confidently, David. And you know this to be true,
Yep.
that there are certain people that I'm meant to help and teach, and there are people that will never work with me because the kind of truth that I'm looking for, this absolute truth, that's a gift. That's a gift to work with every day.
100%. And thank you, man. Thank you for showing up today, as you always do show up. Challenge me a little bit. So, man, come on. This was supposed to be not work for Dave. But no, I love it because it challenges you. I think we always need to be challenged. I remember talking to somebody about that, and when they were 80 and they were still investing with some risk, conscious risk, they go, why would you ever want to give up anything that you're doing? If you have the talent, the ability, keep going out and go and doing it. And thank you, Matt, for pushing me. And really every speech that I give going forward it has a little bit of you in there
Mm,
because of that. So you've helped so many people that you might never have been in the same room with, but thank you for that.
that means a lot, David. Thank you so much, man.
You definitely impacted me. And everybody else, I hope you were impacted on this episode. I definitely was. And I wish you some peace and love. You need to have peace and love in your life. Nothing really works well when you're not in peace and love and alignment. But when you bring it back, be authentic today. Hit your sweet spot. I love you and thank you so much for your time.